Hi, my name is Geoff Norman. It's my privilege to welcome you to the 5th Annual MERIT Conference on Health Sciences Education. The conference began when I officially retired 5 years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't quite take my own advice and I'm still working. I've actually been in the field 50 years as of next year, and it goes without saying that the field has changed enormously in that time. In particular, one of the changes that's most dramatic is the way the field has expanded, and that in turn has bearing on why this conference exists. 50 years ago, the number of PhDs in the field could be easily counted on one hand, and there weren't that many more physicians or health professionals who were doing research in medical education. Just to give you some example as to how much the field has expanded, the first slide shows the number of submissions to the journal Advances in Health Sciences Education. The journal itself began 25 years ago. I was the founding editor and just stepped down this year. As you can see, in the first few years, there was 10 or 15, 20 submissions, barely enough to put out as many issues as we wanted to. However, this year we project that we'll have more than 1,000 submissions. That's one indicator of how much the field has grown. Another is looking at attendance at the Association of Medical Education in Europe meeting. The first one occurred in Beersheba, Israel in 2000. The number of attendees comfortably fitted into a very small hotel. The last conference, last year in Austria, in Vienna, had 3,600 participants from 102 countries. Both of those are indicators that the field has grown quite literally by orders of magnitude. So what does that have to do with this conference? Well, in the old days, we were all in an apprenticeship mode. We were all learning together. And the PhDs weren't that well trained anyway, so we all had to work at it, and it was kind of an amateur hobby thing. Nowadays, there's far too many people who want to get into the field to have that kind of approach. Instead, we have seen master's programs like our own spring up all around the world, and probably hundreds and hundreds of health professionals graduate from these programs every year. In order for that education to be effective, there has to be a number of venues, and of course, master's programs are one. But I think conferences like this are also very important in that they give students an opportunity to do research, to report their research and practice it in front of their peers, and to get good feedback. And that really is the hope and aspiration for the next few hours. So I wish you all well. I hope everybody has a good time and learns a lot. Thank you very much for coming.